So we have that open until November 7th. The assessor offered to one of their candidates. So they're in the process of their background check, and we're just waiting for that to come back. And then probation has a new probation officer starting at the end of the month. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the wellness program. The last time Apex was here, we didn't quite have enough time to really discuss it. So is that something you guys are interested in doing for this next plan year, continuing it? Just so that way we can start having those conversations with Apex about what it's going to look like. Do we want to keep it the same? Your thoughts on it?
The commissioners.
They were having some sort of wellness program, but it looks like I'm not.
You want to stick with Apex or?
Well, that's not in question.
Yeah, no, it's just a wellness program.
$50
Yeah.
wellness.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
okay.
talking about.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. But with the two parts that the member has to go to the, get their blood work and go to their medical provider to have an update. I would say that we had positive results, positive comments from doing it. We also had quite the uptick in the event that we held in March. Morgan?
That was, so the last year there was probably about 50% full, so 30 participants. This last time we did it, it was completely full. We had people that weren't even able to sign up to have their blood work done. So I think it really, encouraged people to have those preventative screenings done.
Yeah, I think that's a benefit, sure. We need a motion on that.
Okay, well, I'll reach out to Apex, kind of see if anything has changed. If there was a question about the spouses, and if we make spouses participate, having to change that, offer them something else. So I will reach out to Apex, and next time I'll bring some more information.
Okay.
Good, yeah. At least we know your, intentions, so. And then we do have the Parkview wellness event that we've held for the last several years, tentatively scheduled for April the 10th.
Yep.
And so that, if we do another wellness thing, we're hoping that encourages more people to sign up, or at least keep the momentum going. Yeah. Speaking of health plan things, we are working with Steel Benefit Systems, the individuals who will be doing our open enrollments going forward. We were going to hold them off to do our health plan enrollment, knowing that we had all different moving parts. We were changing the medical plan, we were changing the dental and vision plan. So we held them off to do that. We continued to do that ourselves. However, for our voluntary insurances, for the long-term disability that all the employees are offered to purchase, except for the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office has that as a benefit. And then life insurances that are above what the county currently provides, $10,000 for most of our employees, $20,000 for our sheriff's office. So we are working with them for a December enrollment for all of those, and that would be opening it up for all of our employees. We would have meetings, more than likely, in the annex, having people come in to talk about what the options are available. We're going to be keeping the long-term disability, the life insurances for themselves, for a spouse, for their children, but then they're also going to be able to offer some other things. And this is all through Lincoln and the things that we've already set up, but they're going to be doing the insurances. And so, like I said, that will be coming up in December. So we've been working on that for the last few months, slowly getting all the pieces together, getting all their reports together so that we can have them as knowledgeable as possible about our employees as they possibly can for the enrollment time. So there is that. The Safety Committee meeting is this Thursday, October the 30th at 8:30 in the small conference room of the Annex. And so we have a few things to discuss, knowing that we have worked on some sidewalks and we have some other things. And I know that insurance trustees and IPEP will talk about the claims that we've had and any sort of trends going on. Performance evaluations, I've already sent you some information on that, especially our two new commissioners, how we have done them in the past. And I have plenty of forms, selections from which to choose, the different types of performance evaluations for the department heads that you are responsible for. I also told you who does other department heads' performance evaluations, their boards, and I've reached out to those department heads to remind them to get their boards to do their performance evaluations. And then I'm sure that Kellen and HR will talk about what we'll do out at Sunny Meadows specifically. So any questions about the performance evaluations? Do you guys want me to start, throwing a few at you, the blank forms to see which ones you would like? Yeah, good? Yeah, okay, yep, I can do that. Yeah, that's for sure. So, and we are, this morning, we are thrilled to pieces that with the cyber security issues that we've been having, things are looking pretty normal in human resources. We have our drives and LAO, payroll and HR, the documents are back in place where they ought to be. And so it's enough to make a person cry that it's like finally, things are back. It's, it's been a long month with that, so.
And we have heard in a lot of situations, it could go longer. It could have went a lot longer.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So kudos to our IT department. I mean, I've told everybody that I can that as soon as I knew about all of this, I was confident in Besa and his department that they're all very capable people. We have a great cybersecurity insurance policy with the consultants coming in on that. Just a lot of good things. We'll just keep the communication going and make sure that our department heads and our employees, are aware of what's happening. So we're thrilled about our documents because we had a plan in place for what we were going to do, what we were going to have to do to replace those, get them back into the system, which is really very important. It makes us so much more productive. It makes payroll productive to be able to go in and reference, documents of current employees and past employees. Anyway, that's about all that we have this morning. So what about you?
A question on the forms.
Yeah.
When we do evaluations, if I like one form and Kellen likes another, Bill another, we have to use the same one or not?
Well, it kind of depends. We have allowed all of our department heads to use one for each of their departments. But you may find that there are certain department heads that maybe apply better to a particular form than another. So I'll just throw those at you, and you guys can decide, if there's maybe a more detailed form that you would like to use for a certain department head as opposed to another one.
But no, you do not all have to use the same one.
No.
If you like one
So-
and Kellen likes a different one,
Yeah.
you can use 2 different ones or 3 different ones.
Yeah.
You do not have to agree on one form for all of
Yeah.
them.
We've been pretty, flexible when it comes to the forms. We don't have one specific one, and that seems to work out pretty well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, you bet. Yeah.
No before training.
Yes. No before. That was when this all started. Besa and I had talked about our know before, and knowing that they were rather occupied with the task at hand, I went through our know before reports, and I was able to look at the activity of our employees. And the activity reports I sent on to our department heads individually, so that they could get back with their employees. It states in the employee handbook and also in the information that the training that IT does upon onboarding that this is really mandatory. So I do believe we have our department heads really making sure that this is done. I have been asked if I could run a report every month to see, or, if employees haven't done theirs. I can. It's kind of an individual sort of thing. We may have to go in and take a look at some criteria in Know Before as to how to pull some more reports. So, because I can pull reports on department heads only, but not individual departments. So if we could do that, but I'm holding off until I hear back from IT that, we're open to be doing some more of that so that they can take care of what's most important right now. We have kept a running list going to IT about some of the issues that I've found, employees that shouldn't be on the list, or just a wide variety of things, people who should be on the list. So, yeah, so anyway, just to kind of take the heat off of them, I did that, and the department heads have been receptive to that. I think this has really brought to light just how important it is that we be vigilant. The first weekend, I'm going to say again, Morgan and I were just, okay, what crazy resume did we click on? That caused an issue, because how many resumes we get in every day, and we were in the midst of a lot of recruiting. Some that look a little wonky, you just don't know. But because of, I think, our training, it just, heightens the awareness, and that's what we need. The sheriff sent out an email to his staff to remind them about taking their training, how important it is. So we're copied on that. So,
Kind of keep an eye on it, keep pushing it.
yeah, exactly. Considering they're not very long, they're really easy, and they're quick. We have some department heads, or I should say elected officials, who don't generally use their county email address, and that's something I think needs to change, because it's county business, and it's been difficult getting information to those elected officials. They're not aware of things because they're not checking their county email address. And so we'll just keep, pushing at that, and trying to get them to do their training. and it will make it much easier. Their personal email addresses are not necessarily on the standard, when you guys get an email that I send out to all department heads, you are on there. Everybody's county email addresses are on those lists. We don't want to go back through and put in, oh, yeah, Joe Blow at, hotmail.com, We just don't want to do that. It doesn't make us as efficient. That's why we have created these lists. So
I've had to for quite a few. Or I have to remember to do the all whoever and then add in all their personal email addresses,
Yeah.
or I don't get responses.
See, and it doesn't make Susan as efficient and effective. So, yeah, if we need to just start making that a policy. You've got to check your county email address.
Got to.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, we'll just keep up on that, and as things break, we'll just keep tweaking Know Before. It's a great program. I mean, the Indiana Office of Technology endorses it and, has given it to anyone who wants it for free. What a deal.
Yeah, what a deal.
Right? You don't get a lot from the state for free. So, anyway, anything else I can help with?
I've got nothing. Anything else?
Okay.
Commissioners?
Well, we will be back in touch with the stuff that we said that we would.
Okay,
Okay?
have a good day.
Yeah, you guys too.
Thank you.
Okay. A little ahead of schedule, so we can jump over into payroll. Payroll.
So moved.
Second?
A motion second to approve payroll. Additional comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Payroll is approved. Claims, you get a chance to go over the claims?
I have one question.
Sure.
Susan, it's under the 9100, 99500 miscellaneous expenditures, the State Board of Accounts, 00,
How much is it?
72,611.
They are audits. So we pay for audit fees for all units. So those are 49, just over 49,000 is the county's fee for the 2024 audit. And then we have City of Butler, Stafford Township, and Concord Township in there. We pay them, and then at settlement time, we withhold that money from what they get, and it comes back to the county. So their audit fees are what they are.
So the state charges us to do what they want to do for the audit.
They charge us to come do their audit, or come do our audit. For the field examiners and.
I was sure that was the way it was.
Yep.
We had that in the township as well, or every
Yeah.
township has that. But
Yeah. And ours is normally pretty high just because ours is big. And we always have a federal audit because we get more than, I think, $750,000 in federal funds. They are increasing that amount, but we'll still hit it. So we always have a federal audit. The federal part of our audit was just over 15,000 of the 49.
thank you.
Yep.
Question, Susan.
Yep.
On the Cease Concrete
Yep.
bill, 8160, is that for the repair down by the jail? What was that?
No, I believe that was for redevelopment, where they poured cement for the new fire hazmat training facility that's going to be used like for everybody. Yeah, but it's going to be used for everybody. It's a hazmat, Auburn hazmat training facility at the Auburn Fire Station.
RDC.
Yeah, redevelopment.
So that was paid by
Redevelopment.
redevelopment? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions?
Susan already answered my questions earlier.
So move to accept claims as presented.
Second.
Motion second on the floor. Any additional comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Claims are approved. Minutes.
So move to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Motion second on the floor. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Minutes are approved.
And those are the minutes from September 15th, now that I have my info back.
Okay. Erica. No, Erica?
Not here yet.
Not yet.
Good job. We want to go into the Bastion agreement.
Yes, this is the one that we discussed, and we needed to get going so that the recorder could be back up and running and recording documents, dealing with all of the cyber information. So I just wanted to do a formal approval with you guys today.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Erica, good morning. You're up and center. Yes. Sure, that blue light is on in that microphone.
Click the gray button,
Is
Yep.
it blue light?
yep.
Okay.
Blue light. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I did. I just had to print it without color. But yeah, we're good.
Ed, you got the floor.
Okay. So my name's Erica Hedge. I'm an animal control officer with DeKalb County. And I've been an animal control officer for the city of Fort Wayne prior to this for almost 8 years. I'm also a registered vet tech. And so I have a lot of experience in this field, and I've been working here for DeKalb County since June, well, running calls since June. And I've just seen a need for some additional ordinances to help myself and the county do a better job relating to the animals that we see. The first thing that I'd like to have adjusted in the ordinance, not necessarily in order, but of importance, is the way that citations or enforcement is dealt with. Currently, the ordinance states that any violations would appear before the commissioners, and I'd like to have that changed to be more consistent with what other deputies do, where enforcement is given, and then the citizens would have to appear before a city court, like a traffic ticket type setup. The other ordinances that I think would be helpful, currently there aren't any running at large or restraint ordinances for the county or for the state. There is under the state law, you can't let your animal run at large and bite, but there is not one for just running at large in general. So I'd like to add a restraint ordinance for dogs that are running at large off their property. And the verbiage for that ordinance would be under restraint. Prior, there was a running at large under the definitions. Restraint it simplifies it and makes it just easier to understand. I don't know what would be better for you guys if we went through, and just rambling. Would it be easier if we went through it page by page and
Yeah.
I kind of explained
Got
what's
some
in red?
time, let's do that.
Okay. So the ordinance that you have in front of you is what is the current ordinance, but then what is in red is what has been changed. So the first page is pretty much the same. I think, I'm sorry, I'm just wondering if they're at the top, the request for the change. That is different, but it's not, that's just for this submission, not for the ordinance in general. So the second page is where the ordinance is adjusted, and it's adding the definition of an animal control officer, which is the title of my position. The other ordinance, aside from restraint, that I'd like to ask for is for animal hoarding. It's one of the biggest calls that I've been getting is for animal hoarding. And so that would be if they have any more than 8 or more dogs and cats, or 15 or more total animals, that would include the smaller type animals. And they can have that many animals, but as long as they're kept well. So once they have 8 or more dogs and cats, and then they're not given proper food and water, proper shelter, sanitation, that meets the definition of hoarding. So the breeders and the large-scale kennels, they would still be, that wouldn't hinder them at all, because as long as they're keeping things clean and animals properly cared for. So this would just be for those who are not. The other definition under that is for restraint, and it just defines what proper restraint is, which is keeping an animal on a leash or a lead, or confined on the owner's property. They don't have to be always on a leash or a lead, just in the restraint of their property. And then also for hunting or farming activities, they can be at large as long as they're, or unrestrained, as long as they are under the control of their owner.
Under animal hoarding, I have a question.
Yeah.
How do we enforce that? How would you determine that they're not kept properly, or that there's more than 15 combination of dog and cats? How is that determined?
So if they don't have, at the time that I go to the residents, if they don't have food or water present, or if they have, not just food or water, but that's one of the aspects. If they don't have proper shelter, say they're left outside and they don't have a dog house or any way to escape the cold. Usually in hoarding situations, the biggest thing is sanitation. So the few that I've been to already have feces like this high in their house, and worse. And I would, if an animal is unable to escape contact with its own feces and urine, it leads to an array of health problems. And so that would be probably the biggest supporting factor, is the waste and sanitation.
What would trigger you to visit somebody's residence?
The ones I've been to so far is family members or neighbors who see that there's a problem and that the people at the home and the animals are suffering.
It's complaint driven, basically,
Yes.
your response to
Yep.
this? Okay, just wondered.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Quick question too. Do the breeders have a license?
They do not. So in the state of Indiana, you can have up to 19 breeding females before you need a license. we do not have a numbers limit in DeKalb County. So there are different, the USDA provides licenses, and so does the Board of Animal Health, based on how many, you can have up to 400 breeding females, I think, maybe even 500. I'd have to check the laws, and that's like the maximum, and that's just females. Doesn't count puppies or male dogs.
That almost sounds like a fine animal feeding operation. Isn't that
Yeah.
like 200 cows or something?
Want to
Is
open
it?
up another can of worms right now, huh?
Yeah.
I'm just saying a 400. I'm just saying it sounds like it, except for dogs instead of cattle and chickens.
400 breeding
I'm not
females.
gonna go to define what a
Yeah.
confined feeding operation is today.
I think Fort Wayne had a breeding kennel cattery permit and did that sort of thing. I think that works great for them. I think a hoarding ordinance really accomplishes both, because we want breeders to be able to do their business. And as long as they're taking good care of their pets, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to do that. So if we put in guidelines of what's appropriate, not being able to escape their waste, and having proper food and water, proper body condition, not being matted.
With my business bill, it's pretty obvious of what an animal hoarder looks like versus what's a person that's taking care of their animals. I mean, it's pretty I go in and clean those houses all the time, and it's pretty obvious with the feet. I mean, she says there's feces this much, and it's all over the floor. It's legitimately that. So it's pretty straightforward.
So the next red section, you skip 2 pages, I think, and then the next red is just taking out the at-large verbiage, because we're replacing the at-large verbiage with the restraint verbiage, because it's simpler. And then we're skipping another 2 pages, and then it's under the actual ordinance part where it says for PQ&R, animal hoarding, restraint of animals, and they changed the verbiage for interference with enforcement because it changed, the wording changed to animal control officer, so that's not an addition, that's just an adjustment. And then the next page references enforcement. That section used to say that citizens would appear before you all, and you would decide whether or not the violation occurred, and that if found to be valid, they would receive a $25 fine. And so I'm requesting that we operate under the state guidelines of enforcement, or similar to traffic tickets. And then following down, it's adjusting the verbiage again to restrained instead of running at large, and animal control officer. And so that's what's on the last page too. So the 3 things I'm asking for, just to sum up, are a change of the way enforcement is handled to make it more streamlined and current in how it operates, and then adding the definitions of animal hoarder and restraint.
Okay. Any additional questions, comments?
Yeah, Andrew, are you okay with the changes as presented?
Yes. Reviewed it and talked with Erica, and I'm fine with the changes.
Do you, commissioners, feel comfortable acting on this today, or do you want to table it to next
I do
meeting?
3 readings, right?
Yes.
Updates. I'm fine doing the first.
I recommend not doing all 3 readings necessarily at the same time in case there's public input or something.
Yeah, I think I'm okay doing the first one today.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second on the floor on the animal control ordinance first reading.
Correct.
Do we need to
So that,
attach a number?
yep, I was just gonna give it to you. So that ordinance will be 2025-0-8. DCC 15-3-3.
Okay.
And it's the DeKalb County Commissioners, DeKalb County amended animal control ordinance. Just to read out.
Right. Thank you, Andrew. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? First reading is approved.
Who motioned that?
We'll do the second and third in 2 weeks.
Okay, great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on. Go ahead and have Tyler up. Back off.
Do they all have a copy already, Susan?
They had it in their meeting package, yeah.
Two things today. First one is for our cornerstone ordinance, the second and third readings we need to do for that. So we made just a few changes to it. The first one is we had some questions about private landowners wanting to perpetuate the cornerstones on their property. So under number 3, part C, we put that private landowners willing to fund the perpetuation of government corners located on their property may contact the DeKalb County Surveyor's Office and submit a request so that we can take our project team out there and perpetuate the corners and the landowners willing to fund it. So does any of them want that done to ensure they have accurate property surveys? Then we can do that. So, and then the other one's just a slight change under number 4, part C, the ordinance violation. We put that if they refuse to do it, basically that we can go perpetuate the corner and the development is responsible for funding that. And it's set up to not to exceed $10,000. We put per corner at the end, not to exceed $10,000 per corner. So, just in case there was a couple corners for whatever reason, it was going to go above that $10,000. We didn't want that to be the case. So those are our two changes we had.
Okay. Comments? Ready to do the second and third?
We just make an amended motion to, or should we start all over?
No, I believe these are, so the rule that I have gone by that I believe is accurate is if there are only a couple of small changes, then it's okay and appropriate to continue with the second and third reading as amended. If it's something that's a wholesale change, which I don't view either of these as wholesale changes, I believe you can go ahead and approve it on second and third reading. I don't know if Susan agrees with me on that.
Yeah.
That's been the way that I've appropriate.
I would so move we accept second and third reading amended as proposed.
Okay, motion and second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
Awesome. The second thing that we have, we would like to open a bank account so that we can receive credit card payments for some of our fee ordinances that we put into place for utility permits and variances, those types of things. Some of those larger utility companies may be difficult to get them to pay with cash or check, so having the card option would be a large convenience. So in order to open that bank account, I think we have to have approval first from the commissioners, and it has to be opened at an approved bank.
Does that take an ordinance, Susan, or not? Because we've done that before.
I honestly don't know because I've not had time to look into any of it.
Understood, yeah. I think in the past we've had an official.
We have done that?
I don't-
For some of those funds, or maybe.
For the funds, I've not ever been involved with opening of a bank.
Yeah, I guess it's for the funds, like if there was one of those specialty courts funds, you have to have an ordinance, but this is different. This is just
The bank
local
account.
department opening a bank account.
What's the oversight on that then?
I don't know. I haven't had it.
Well, they would have some different, she just says that you guys have to approve it to be open.
Okay.
And not really, because all they do is collect the money. They don't have anything to do with where it goes. So it would be like the clerk's office, they have a bank account, and then every month they have to bring us a report of collections. They would have like a system that would they would enter in what they're receiving, and then reports that they would send with their bank account. Then the piece that I don't know is, I'm assuming at the end of the year, beginning of the following year, they may have to submit a supplemental AFR, CAR report to me, because I will have to be able to report it on our annual financial report so that it is then audited by the state when the state comes.
So one other component of this is
Is that light on, hun?
the blue light is, yes. It's different being on this side.
I know.
Is that we will need an account, we'll have to sign a contract with Value Payment Systems, which the Child Support Office uses, Building and Development, they use that, the Recorder's Office uses it. I've already been in contact with them about that, and you would sign the contract on our behalf, and they would run the credit card service side of it. They would provide our office with a scan, like a swipe, and then also kind of facilitate it through the bank side as well. They asked me to run a report for the last quarter as far as what we would have collected if we had been able to collect with our fees for utility permits and verification of address forms and whatnot, what was in the ordinance that you approved last month. And so I did that for them. I have numbers if you want to see them, but yeah, so then we would probably provide that as far as what was collected through the bank account for an end of the year report so that you would know that we're honest, I guess.
I'd have to look. There's certain regulations on what I need and what I don't need, but I haven't had time to look into any of it. So I can't give you guys my answer right now. I mean, they need the account, so
Yeah.
the back part of it is something I'll have to figure out.
So I wonder if you wanted to approve the account, you could do it subject to them complying with all appropriate regulations.
So moved.
So moved?
Yep, what Andrew said.
I'll second the question. Maybe, are the other departments that are accepting credit cards, are they adding the 3% fee? Because as far as I know, most businesses I deal with now are charged 6% for the use of the credit card, and most of the time I have to pay 3% of the 6%.
I believe most of that is done with the value pay people that she's talking about, and then that's taken into account for like their fee for us using them.
Okay, so if the fee is $100, then that 3% or 6% is added in as part of that $100 fee?
The system would add in or figure what needed to be done for, like, if it was for me to pay what I need plus the fee, and then the fee may not necessarily come to us. It would go to the value pay people because they're doing the service for us.
They collect the money, then they send us the $100.
I understand.
And they charge them the extra for the transaction fee.
it would be in the system, it would be in their system where they are needing to pay that they have this extra fee because they're doing their credit card or whatever the fees are with it.
Are you wanting to make sure that the county is netting $100?
Yeah.
On every $100 fee, and we're not losing another $3 on it or something?
Right.
Yeah.
No.
I think she's saying we do net it, and that all the cost is paid by the,
Correct.
I believe on our,
I think that's the way I always thought it would happen. I couldn't guarantee that, but
I know the treasurer, I think states that on their,
otherwise the county would be losing a ton of money every
there's
year.
an additional fee if you pay a credit
can't
card.
do that.
Yeah, that's definitely my concern is, you know,
I think it nets the full amount to the county.
Chris said. Hey, that's from Chris, so.
pardon me?
But that's what Chris said.
I'm-
You gotta take that for what it's worth, it's from Chris, so.
Right? I'm
Chris
positive.
Gelmer you're talking about?
Yeah.
I'm positive, I am 100% positive that that is how that works.
It's always been that, like, if my clients were gonna pay money to the clerk or something, they knew they were gonna be paying the cost on top of it.
Yep.
Which is different than a lot of places.
Well, that was my only concern is that
It's a good concern.
I didn't want the $100 to be minus $6.
I don't think it is.
It is not,
It's on
Okay.
top, it's additional.
it is
That
not.
is a very good question.
And you guys are planning to use CSB with the treasurer, which that's where our other
Yeah.
departments use.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and second on the floor, and I'll go again with the additional comments from the public. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Have a good day. Okay,
I will have to work with you guys on the back end because we'll have to set up some different accounts and stuff so you guys know what to put on your monthly report of collections so we can track things. So if you don't hear from me, get a hold of me because
well, we're just buzzing along here. County Treasurer, September report.
yes, that was this big long thing that was in your, we just need to acknowledge receipt of it.
Acknowledge receipt.
So move to present as, or to accept as presented.
Second.
Motion second on the floor, additional comments. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Okay. Miscellaneous. What you got?
Okay, we can go on to the Sunny Meadows. So, a couple of things. The Sunny Meadows Committee met last Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. It's been a long week. Last Wednesday, and we went over a few things. But the first thing I want to go over is the TZ drone photography. I had this drone company come out, take a look, give us a quote to help capture Sunny Meadows, do outside aerial photos of the facility, and then there's options to go inside and do the inside facilities. I had Mary Deal, the county historian, come out and meet with us too. Depending on which route we go with the land, the thing with this is still something we should probably do is to capture it and get a historical pictures and data. What we do with that data later on, we don't know yet, but to capture it now is probably the best time to do it. So, Andrew and I have been talking over the weekend because he didn't get to me until Friday because it's just been kind of last minute. It was kind of a rush a little bit because I didn't think about it until he brought it up, was to, if we want to try to do it this week because of all the trees still have leaves and the corns in the back, so it'll look a lot better than if we have just bare land and bare trees.
Middle of winter,
Yeah.
everything's brown.
Yeah, everything is still looking pretty decent out there right now, but another big windstorm could knock everything down and it's gonna look pretty rough. And they'll have to do a lot of editing to make it look better. He said it'd be better to do it this week if we can.
You say the inside would be optional on top of the 1,800?
The inside is, no, that includes the 1,800 from what I understand. Is that correct, Andrew?
That's what I thought, but I'll take a look
Yeah.
again here and see.
So basically what they're doing is charging us 2 days' worth of work, one's for outside, one for inside.
Yes, that's right.
And so that's, it comes to 18, so, we would do the outside, and then we wouldn't do anything in the inside until all the residents have been transitioned out. So, all the stuff's been, inside's been taken care of and stuff like that, so,
That takes care of privacy issues too, if you wait.
yeah, we're gonna wait until everybody's out. We just wanted to get some outside photos while it's still looking pretty decent out there with the leaves and stuff, so. That's why it kind of bumped a little ahead of the schedule, and I was hoping to get it to you guys, so. I'm okay with it. Andrew and I have looked at a couple of different versions of it. Now this is the final draft of it, so.
Yes, I wanted to make sure there was language in there that said that we would own the footage, and so forth. And, that was their intent.
Yep.
They didn't try to keep the footage, but I just wanted something in there that said, we keep it for sure, and they added a paragraph that gives that.
Okay, makes sense. Need a motion.
So move we accept this contract as presented.
I'll second.
A motion, a second on the floor. Additional comments?
The only comment I have is I forgot to ask you about this, Andrew, was, for section A, underneath, field capture, it says the client will be responsible for the subscription cost of Matterport software at the time of the proposal. The starter subscription is $14 per month.
Let's see here.
So the Matterport is a program for the 3D imaging and everything in there. So if they go through, it's kind of like you go to a house and you go to do like a virtual tour, it'll take all the pictures and stuff like that. What they do is they upload that to Matterport software, and that's how they store it.
Well, I didn't know if for the Matterport, if they had to take in special cameras.
They have their own
Did they take
cameras
more
for it.
pictures or something, or they already do that and they just upload it?
It's the software they'd have to use to upload it, to save it. So,
So they're gonna take the same pictures either way, but yes, I agree with you. If you want to do the Matterport, well, it says Matterport capture.
and deliverables is an option part of it, so.
If you want to do that, there'll be more fees for that, yes.
Yeah, so what I would like to propose today is to accept it as presented, except for you wait on the Matterport software and have a discussion later. Because they're not gonna do any of that stuff until they do the 3D imaging.
And the same for the video editing, probably? Because this
Yes,
does
and the
not
video
include
editing
the
too.
editing cost either.
No.
Because they need to take the pictures first, as I understand it, then give us a quote on what it would cost to edit it.
And depending on how much we wanna edit it to. I mean, and Mary and I have talked about it, and we might, we're not really sure what we're gonna do with the data yet, but we wanna get it now, because once it's, whatever we do with it, it's very hard to get.
Capture the image.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could put in people's, interviews with people
Yeah.
or something.
So you can do a lot of stuff with it. So, but I want to accept it with the, I don't know how we can go back to them and just say, hey, take that part out. But I want to like to get this done today so they can get out this week to get those pictures, outside pictures.
Well, I
That's
think the
all indoor
1,800,
stuff.
yeah, so I would say you just accept it
The 1,800.
without the two options.
Okay, that's what I was,
Two options.
that's what I was, my question to you was,
Yep.
I saw it this morning.
I would say accept it without the two options, and that, I think it's still the price, because the options would be an increase
Yeah.
in price.
Okay, so I have, Jim made a motion to accept the TZ drone photography as presented, except for the Matterport software and editing costs.
We can just say that
I will amend my motion to exclude
the two options.
the two options. I have an amended motion.
You got that, Susan?
I agree, that sounds good.
In deliverables, they had two options we could choose. We can just amend those out.
We're not doing those
We can go
yet.
back to it later. I just want to get the outside pictures as soon as we can. So, and I'll second Jim's amendment. Motion.
All set? Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Get the picture.
I'll get out of them, I'll get ahold of them today and see if they can get out there. I told them to kind of keep some days open this week for us, before the weather changes.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'd be a good day.
It looks like they want 20% down before they will be.
Yeah, that was something I have to talk to them about too, so, I'll have a conversation with them also today about that.
Because I'm sure they're not a vendor, so we're gonna need
Yeah.
all kinds of information filled out.
Yeah, so I'll have a conversation with them. Like I said, we met on Wednesday, they got it to us on Friday. Andy and I have been talking about it over
They
the
want us-
weekend and changed it, so.
If they want to start based on the idea that you guys have voted on it and approved the amount, I mean, that's up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay with me. Obviously, they may not want to until they get their 20%, but they can start ahead of time if they want to.
Okay.
It's up to them.
So the next thing was the Sunny Meadows Committee. Andrew and I have been talking, we talked a lot the last week about Sunny Meadows, to deal with all the items inside the building. And so I think the easiest and cleanest way to do that is to hire an auction company to come through and determine what items that are left behind after the residents have all left is worth selling or attempting to sell, and what stuff is not.
I think you need to find out, for the purposes of disposal of property statutes or statutes in Indiana, you have to figure out what is this stuff worth. Some stuff may not be worth much more than, and
Yeah.
maybe just throw away stuff. If it's like a, let's say it's a foldable conference table, but it's got chips all over and doesn't look very good, it may not have any value at all. Crap.
But then it could be an antique, vintage that he would know more about it, so
Or
it's
maybe
kind of
it
one of
could
those.
be sold in a pile of stuff for $500 at an auction too, so.
No, it's one of those, with the building being there since 1908, we don't really know what the value of some of that stuff is, to be honest. To me, a lot of it could be thrown away, but I don't want to miss out on taxpayer money if someone's willing to buy it and make some money for it. But I think hiring an auctioneer to come through and give us his professional opinion on it is probably the easiest and cleanest way of doing it. And then whatever he determines is not valuable enough to sell, then we can go ahead and have the staff out there start disposing of some of those things. I mean, there's some things that are obvious, but like, it'd be nice to have that layer of protection for us so that we're not
I think
missing out on
it's a good
something.
idea, yeah.
Okay,
I've been talking to Steve Barkis?
Barkus,
Is that the name of it? Yeah.
and Barkus.
Auctioneers.
Barkus Auctioneers.
Yeah. We have a couple of conversations. I would want to hire him, but if I bring it to you guys to see if you have another auctioneer company. He's local, he's out of Liato. I wanted to stick with someone local around here that does it, so.
You have
He's gonna meet with me, hopefully this week or next week, and he's gonna kind of look out there and see what he does and go like that. But if that's something you guys wanna pursue, that we would probably hire an auctioneer, I can go get a few people, if that's something you wanna do. I just don't wanna spend a lot of time, have people coming out looking at it if we're not gonna go that direction. So, we don't really need a motion or anything, it's just more of a consensus, like, hey, that's a good idea, let's go with that.
Oberlin, is that
Pardon me?
Oberlin?
He's been around forever. Well, his son's taken over now.
Yeah, I can get a couple of people to give us some ideas, but I wanted to see if you guys were okay with me pursuing that path, and I don't waste anybody's time by,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come out there and you guys like, we're not
Yeah,
gonna do that.
that's,
So.
yeah, that's right, that's the way to go, probably.
Consensus on it? Okay, so I'll look into, reach out to some auctioneers and get some ideas, okay?
Yep.
The drones that,
You'll want them to send. Oh,
yeah, I'll have them give us official stuff, but I'll have them come out and take a look and see so they know what's going on out there, so.
It'd be easiest if you got at least
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the other, two more things. The committee met and we talked about what to do with the building and the land after, everybody's been transitioned out, and the committee believes that the county should retain the land, and just turn it into a green space for now until we determine what we're gonna do with it for county purposes later on. And so that's my recommendation, that's what I feel like we should do too, is to get some quotes to how to turn it into a green space, and determine what we're gonna keep out there on the land and what we're gonna get, not have.
How do we secure the building?
Well, that can be part of the green space, it might be determined on that, so.
Okay.
But we haven't decided as a commissioners if we're going to, what we're gonna do with the land after everybody's been transitioned out.
Okay, here's
so.
the question, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong. The question is when everybody's out December 1st, then from December 1st until whatever happens with it, who's securing so that nobody's going in and out of that building?
It can also change things for insurance purposes.
I've talked to Kyle, but
Insured differently.
we also need to know, this is why I'm asking the question to you guys, what's the plan? Are we going to sell it, building and everything, because then we'll have to winterize it and do that process, or if we're going to make it into green space, then we need to do that process. We're at this decision where we need to decide which path we're gonna go. The committee believes to keep the land and turn it into green space. That's my opinion on it, but I'm gonna bring it to you two to decide what you guys wanna do with that space.
I guess the question I have, oh, go ahead, Jim.
No, I just coughed. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
Question I have, in disposing of a county asset, can we just, are we allowed to just tear it down?
You need council approval to dispose
Yeah,
of
we
any
need
real
council
estate.
approval to sell or to tear down, I assume.
I'm not sure about the tearing down. I can look into that, work with Donald Stuckey on that one perhaps, but I know to sell real estate for sure, there's a statute that says.
Yeah, I know that part for sure.
And with an appraisal.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, if we decide to tear it down, do we have that authority on our own, or does that have to go to council, or do we have? I just want to keep us out of trouble as far as disposing of an asset that the county taxpayers actually own.
Right, right. Even if you keep the real estate, do you have the authority to tear down the building? Well, I mean, you have.
The unilateral authority, can we just stay and do it versus we have to get the council involved?
That's a slightly different question than the real estate. I'll need to research that because it's a slightly different permutation there of that question.
Okay.
Okay.
But
I'll
if
look
that's the
into that.
direction we're gonna go, then that way I can start moving pieces that direction. So today I just need to know which way do you guys are feeling? And if we have to get the council involved, I can work with the council on which way we're going. But right now, we're at that crossroads of, are we keeping it and then working with it later, or we're gonna try to sell it? We've had
I'm not going to
conversations.
be rushed into this, by the way. There's no set deadline on when we have to do anything with that building or that property. We've got cameras out there. We have maintenance coming and going out there. So, yeah, I don't think we need to get in a rush particularly, but I need more information before I'm going to even give an opinion.
Okay.
I have a question too. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I would like to hear Andrew's response myself.
Any researches?
Yeah.
It probably depends a little bit maybe on what is the cost to keep it too. I mean, it's not just keeping the building, I suppose. It's how much does it cost to make it a usable building for something else?
And I don't think that's even on the,
Like for other
on
county
the, yeah, for
offices or
somebody,
anything else.
yeah.
It's too far gone for saving probably. Okay. That makes sense. I've been out there, that makes sense.
Okay.
So table that,
I'll
just,
ask it later.
okay, I was waiting for Susan, if Susan asked something.
And I'll let you know what I find out on that.
Yeah, we need more info on that.
Okay, so we'll come back to that point next week, okay, in 2 weeks, okay. So the other, thing is the 4 employees, we have 5 out there, but we have 4 employees that, are hourly. And the committee feels that for their loyalty, the 4 employees have been out there. 3 of them were there prior to announcing that we're gonna be closing. But the 4th one came in pretty quickly, right when we were doing that process. And they've done a fantastic job helping out. They've switched their shifts around, they've changed their hours around, they've changed their days around. That we feel like it would be, to give them a stipend for their loyalty to help shut it down. Because we have 4 employees that the county pays for, is on the county employees, I'm sorry. And then we have 4 temps out there. And then we have, our matron. So we have 9 people running a 24/7 facility out there. And the 4 that are still there have done a fantastic job. They've shifted their hours right from, like, the second shift went from 12:30 to 10 to a 4 to midnight shift to try to help cover out. They've picked up extra duties to help minimize stuff around just because of the staffing issues we've had. The temps, we have 2 really good ones. The other 2 we've had to keep rotating every couple of weeks. So they've had to pick up and train those ones on how to do things. So the committee feels that 2 months worth of pay for them. They each get paid roughly about $1,500. So that would be about a $6,000 stipend for the 4 of them, for a total of $24,000 for the 4 employees. And that's the,
So you guys can agree to suggest to the council will have to pass an ordinance for this?
Yeah.
Before it can actually be
and
done.
I would like have your guys' support, so when I go to the council, it shows that the committee has the support, and then if you guys support it, then I can show that we support it also. There's money within the budget, as of, I haven't got the latest figures from Susan until we had the thing, but October 7th, we still had, what, 49% of the budget still available? We only spent like 51%.
I mean, we've had some bills and stuff,
Yeah, come out lately.
a lot of, yeah.
But the money is there. They've, with all the help that they've done and all the, I mean, for a couple of months in the summertime, we were down, we didn't even have some of the temp workers working. So they were working all by themselves and stuff. So they have saved the county money by stepping up and taking on the extra work, so.
So the 24,000 is for 4 employees?
It's the 6,000 per employee equals 24 total for the employees, yes.
So it's 6 employees? Or
No, there's
For,
four employees at 6,000
6,000
apiece,
each,
which is 2 months worth of pay for them.
and just the county.
Yeah,
Just the county, that does not include the temps, and it doesn't even include the matron. It's just the county hourly employees that have been out there that have been moved their shifts around, picked up extra responsibilities and everything else to help out with the transition.
the temps, they will stay on until it's actually closed, or?
Well, we're gonna do the committee says let's do another reevaluation in December to see. That's kind of what we have, a tentative timeline of when everybody's gonna be out. That's kind of what we're working at. We have 6 residents left. 4 of them have been accepted to other locations. We're just getting times and dates. And we have some strong leads with the other 2, but we just don't have an acceptance from there and a date yet. So Brenda and I feel from the conversations we've had with everybody that beginning of December, we should have a really good idea of what we have left. And then we can reevaluate at that point of who we have left, what we're gonna do with staffing wise, and then we can move forward with whatever they need to do, because like the auctioneer, if he comes through and he determines all this stuff is trash, or unwanted items, I should say, then we could have, if we have 1 or 2 people left and we're waiting those couple of weeks, they can start removing some of those items into a dumpster or something, like keep them busy and stuff. So that's kind of what we needed, that kind of go with that. We're at that point now, we need to start making some of those end of the project decisions. So I strongly recommend us to refer the 6,000 to the council per employee, so.
It'll go to council and see what they say.
You guys are okay with that? They have a consensus on that?
Yeah, we could,
You support it? Okay.
Yes.
So I will go to the next council meeting and present that to them.
Yes.
anything
Okay.
else?
Let me check my notes here to make sure I didn't miss anything. Did an update with the 6 remaining residents. Nope, that's all I have for Sunny Meadows today. And then Andrew, you'll look into that. You'll look into that,
As far as who
Yes, that's
has the responsibility of making that decision, whether it's a joint with the council or you guys.
Okay.
The real estate, it's very clear, council's a part of that.
Yeah.
But not necessarily clear on every building or shed that you have. Of course, this is bigger than a shed, but I will research it and let you know.
Jim, what you got?
Andrew has a copy of the contract, revised contract for Humane Shelter. Once he approves it, you gentlemen, I'll get a copy of each so you can look it over and add any changes you would like to see. Then I'll present it to the Humane Shelter for,
Okay,
we'll go from there.
go from there.
Yep, I'll review it and email you my thoughts and comments on it. Gentlemen.
And the go is what, calendar year, January, have that contract signed, or would it be before that?
Well, hopefully I think, I would hope by December 1st, it's all done and finished.
Take care of
But it will start January 1st. It will be a contract that starts
January
January.
1st. Yeah, that was,
For the calendar year.
Yes.
And is it already, there's already something, a line item in the budget for it, I guess? Guessing in the
Yeah.
proposed budget for next year. Okay. Cool.
okay. Anything else? Andrew, what you got?
Yes, I have one thing. I had Attorney Donald Stuckey reach out to me about, the land owned by the county. I believe it's the Old County landfill land. Does that sound right? Is it section 19 Wilmington Township?
Yeah,
Neighbor of a judgment call we did have, like in the last year, somebody else asked about hunting rights across it or something.
They wanted to buy a section.
I was just gonna ask if that was the
Yeah.
same.
They wanted to buy a section of it so they can go hunting.
yeah, on the north.
I think this is a,
easement across the north end or,
yeah, I don't know, I think these are different people than had asked about
yeah.
hunting.
What was the address again?
Yeah.
County Road.
Oh, Greg and Susan Wallbridge, and they're to the northeast, apparently, side of that county property.
I think they own it. The Amishmen wanted a way to get back there and hunt it.
Okay, all right.
Was that?
So it might have been the
Yeah.
same people.
Yeah.
I think so.
Down here. 47. It's right here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why'd they landlocked?
Trying to figure out. Here's the, there's a landfill right here. Or is it back here?
Property, yeah.
That was,
This should be DeKalb. I think it's his property here.
they have a, oh, I guess they don't. They would be.
Yeah.
They don't own that, so it would be. I mean, they have an easement through here, but that's a utility easement, probably. Yeah. All right. That's their, yep. Cool. Okay. That piece right here, they're saying is land.
What?
If they don't have, last I knew, it was against the law to have a piece of property landlocked.
Well, yes, so that could be number one, why they believe they had an easement. Maybe the prior owner had always walked over the land or something
Left them across.
and said, hey, we've always had that right. It is possible for them at some point to, if they're totally landlocked, how do you get back to your property? I think they can petition a court for the right to access in some way. It's been a long time since I've researched that particular law or case law on it, but I think they have to develop what's the most practical way or best way to get to the property and then petition a court.
Looks like they bought it in 2019. Serval owned it from 2004, and then they looks like they bought it in 2019. I'm not sure how, because the other property that landlocked it to the east was, that's what, 2024 too. Different names on it, so I'm not sure how that would have been.
So when they bought it, anytime you buy property that looks like it's landlocked, you want to make sure you have an easement somewhere before you buy it. I don't know why, I don't know how it happened. Maybe it sounds like they thought there was an easement for some reason, but unless you've got somebody that's done a search in the real estate records, title insurance company or something else, how do you know for sure you've got it?
Chris. Work on it with Chris Gomer and figure out. I mean, I don't know, we even know how we give him an easement.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I do have a message from Councilman Ring, and he said that, I don't have it right handy, that we need to check the deed for the trail because there was some money donated for use of that area with the trails. So before you make a decision, I need to check into that.
Of course, you mean in case their easement, they would want.
Well, I guess not on the easement, but I'm just letting you guys know that, yeah.
Who owns that trail?
Well, it says state of Indiana on one of them, and then the other part of it says roads. Which
Is what?
Tari and Beth Roads. You know, they own it right there.
Already have an easement on the?
Well, I don't know if they have an easement, but they own the old railroad tie, it looks like they
Oh,
own
the
that,
old
and
railroad, okay.
the state of Indiana owns that, which I'm assuming is what they're talking about right here, is this old railroad.
I think it's even more complicated than that.
Yes.
Maybe that's what Susan was gonna say. The state of Indiana has disclaimed ownership of its railroad easements.
Okay, yeah.
They're claiming they don't own the ones that were deeded to them by the railroad company, is my understanding.
Okay, Rick's gonna email me something. He said the state donated the property to the county for use as a trail only. But he's gonna email me something.
We're not making any decisions on it today, there's too much.
Right.
There's
You
way
want me
too
to
much
reach
here.
out to Donald Stuckey and try to find out what their plan would be if the county doesn't grant them the easement? Like, what is their next step too? I mean,
Yeah, because I mean, even the land we have doesn't go to the road, so they still have to get another, I mean, because we only own here, and there's another parcel between their land, our land, and there's another parcel, then it's County Road 47.
okay.
So even if we gave them easement, they still have to get it from somebody else. Muckers, it looks like. So like there's, yeah, that's on the west side, and on the east side is Kessler. So to get to County Road 49. So like, one way or the other, there's gonna have to be other people involved besides just us.
Smucker was who wanted to hunt it.
Yeah, he wanted the easement through there to hunt it, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I guess it's complicated.
Complicated.
Yes.
All right.
Well, enjoy that, Andrew.
Yeah, lawyer stuff.
Well, I'll email Donald Stuckey and kind of be able to report back to you when I'm hearing back from him.
Sounds amazing.
Okay. Anything else, Andrew?
I believe that was all that I wanted to, I think that was, yeah, that's it.
Susan, what you got?
Okay, let me see here. I didn't know, we had scanned in the letter from the judges on the Thompson, what is it, Reuters, the law books. And I didn't know from Andrew's email last night if we need to discuss it or if we are just gonna wait.
Maybe wait and see what happens. I mean, I guess the way I don't know if you guys read the dates the way I did, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the cancellation is gonna work, but hopefully it does.
Okay, so we'll wait on that.
Because yeah, you understand, yeah.
So, you know, elevators are my favorite thing. Sheriff Thomas had emailed me, their maintenance contract expired, and he provided me with a new contract with Otis. Larry is in contact trying to get us information from the executive elevator, the other one that we went to, about putting the jail one on or adding or something. So pretty soon here, we're gonna need to make a decision because their maintenance plan is not, I guess they don't really have one.
My main problem with Otis is their very onerous requirements on getting out of the contract. But they're also probably the elephant in the room, they're the big company that's been doing this for years too.
So just kind of put it in your mind, and as soon as I get information from Larry, I will send an email out to all of you as well. Otis says their contract is saying $220.88 per month, payable annually in advance for 5 years.
In advance for 5 years?
I haven't,
Just 1 year.
I haven't read the detail, but that's what they have highlighted here. Normally, we pay a year at a time.
Because we have, yeah.
So the contract price paid annually in advance. However, if we don't pay annually, and if we pay semi-annually, quarterly, or monthly, then they add another 2, 3, or 4% charge on top of that. So, more to come, but we're gonna need to make a decision pretty soon for them so that we can make sure everything is under maintenance.
When, is that an automatic renewal? That's what the other contract was.
Yeah, I would have to guess, but
The other contract, it was automatic renewal unless you gave them notice of non-renewal sometime between 90 days and 120 days prior to the end of the contract, and then you had to look at maybe the time period it went into. It wasn't even the date of the contract that it was signed 5 years, it was like the date after it was put
I
into
don't know, I
play.
can't find it.
Complicated.
Yeah, very complicated termination system.
Because, and the only reason I kind of want you guys to think about it and revisit is because I believe that you guys had somewhat a consensus that we were gonna have Andrew send out our cancellation notices for the current ones that we're still stuck in. So I didn't really wanna have to go into another one with a different department. It would be nice if we could all be on the same company. But that's your guys' decision.
Well, the other company was so much cheaper to begin with, and their contract was much simpler to understand, and we didn't have to worry about
Tops of page.
automatic renewals, which I'm totally against.
5 years.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah, that's about
totally
the
against.
worst one I've ever read. I just,
Year to year.
And that's, Andrew just showed it, found it for
Yeah.
me. It is automatic renewal for 5-year terms unless terminated by written notice, 90 days, at least 90 days, but no more than 120 days prior to the end of the current contract.
we are very close to that window. I believe
On
it
one of
starts
them.
November 1st-ish timeframe is the window as best I could determine the timing.
Yeah,
So you're saying that November 1st is, we still have within that 120 to 90 day?
I believe so because 120 is, 4 months, so, and I think it was sometime in March that we had, I went through this analysis a while back, let me look at it.
yeah.
I believe that's a year or two off.
One of them is sooner and one of them is later.
Yeah, Otis is,
We're stuck in, let's see, no. Yeah, one of the contracts, it looks like, I originally thought it was, we were stuck till, okay. I originally thought we were stuck till 2028, but then I believe it's March. I sent an email to Otis asking them to confirm. Okay, so it looks like 3/26/28, and so if you go back 3 months would be December 26th, I think. Right, because January, February, March, okay.
So one of,
Then it would be from November 26th roughly, I mean, you'd want to check the dates, but to December 26th of this year, we have to notify them of non-renewal.
So November 26th till December 26th.
Yeah, and probably would be safer.
I don't know if that's
Yeah.
changed.
That's what I was talking about, yeah. 'Cause it's the 90th and 120th day preceding 3/26/28. Well, see, this would have been, okay, so that, so you're right, back in July, but then I got an email from Jody Eggert, the account manager with Otis, saying that well, let's see. Yeah, maybe it is 2028.
that's what I remember. He was here twice.
Because the original contract was 2013, and so if you multiply by 5 years, it's 2028.
Thought the one was a long time.
Yeah, so I guess this one is, Otis is 2028, because we missed the free one.
Yeah,
So the one we're talking about for the sheriff,
Is different than this
Yeah.
one that he's talking about.
right? But,
Yeah,
but I mean, are we within, close or whatever, within that 120 days?
Well, apparently the 2023 contract for Otis and the Sheriff's Department, I think, did not have automatic renewal. Because the 2005 contract had the automatic renewal every 5 years crossed off. That's what I have in my notes. So it looks like the Sheriff's Department was not on an automatic 5 year.
But I'm also confused because we have a service contract invoice that we paid late, because I was all confused with all this, with Otis for the sheriff, and it says maintenance service from 9/1/25 to 8/31/26. So to me, they're not expired.
Well, they're just continuing to bill out, doing the work, but there's no automatic renewal. They must be still doing the work every year.
Okay. As soon as I have a little bit more information, I shall let you guys know, and we shall, what?
Yep, big time.
Hopeful that what I saw.
We're ready to go.
Morning. Well, we have highways updated permits I wanted to discuss and go over with you guys, and just to make sure we was where we wanted to be and get our next steps. So in there, I submitted you guys the permits for the utility permit for the highway, the right-of-way cut permit, and then we established a overweight permit for the county instead of just the one for 61. So I sent you guys all those permits with the revisions made to the currents, along with cost samples from nearby counties. Is you guys okay with the submitted language? This has been through Andrew as well as far as the legal side. I believe we got that all figured out, so now we're down to the costs. I did have a few things I wanted to add to the permits I think would be valuable. On the overweight permit, we specify holidays and things as far as moving. I'd like to add a line in there that overweight permit travel during daylight hours only, because most generally it's on county roads, and I just think overweight, that would be something that we ought to add. And then on the utility permits, I think we could require it. I don't know if it necessarily would have to be added in here for language, but with the utility companies, mostly electric companies, I would like to have the new pole lines be staked. There's been several instances where the new poles has been set in the ditch line or between the ditch line and the road, and they need to be behind the ditch line. So I like it when they stake that. We can do a field verification on that. I don't know, like I said, if that has to be in there, or if we can just require that when they submit their plans. And then the other thing is, on our right-of-way cut permit, we've got like new system. Here we got electrical, stop block, pivot. It was mostly for irrigation for farmers. I was thinking it might be good just to go ahead and add water, gas, sewer in here. That way, this is more for farmers, residents, permits, if they're going to be doing something in the right of way. If they got a barn on the other side, if they need to bore something over or whatever, or if a farmer wants to run a drain tile across. We've gotten some, since the city's extending out their sanitary sewers, where people come and they want to bore the sewer line underneath the right of way, underneath the road, that will say the sewer instead of having to all be filled in. It's kind of minor, but I thought since we're doing it, it would be good to add to that. Then, like I said, then the cost. I presented some costs to you guys because right now we don't charge for anything other than the driveway permits of $25. I even sent you an email as far as requiring cost for the overweight permit for Camera 61, which is the SDI road. We get several of them permits annually. That's always been annually. I'm trying to get it that way. That way we get a current permit and then updated insurance, and then we can add a cost per that moving forward. So I'm open for recommendations, discussions, or whatever you guys have on the new permits I've given you.
Questions? Well, Jim had a question about.
Well, we need to take each one individually. Yeah.
So you want me to just start with one?
Yes, please. That's my recommendation.
So, if I start with the right-of-way cut permit, we have any work done within the county right-of-way would be a $50 fee according to the permit. And then any unpermitted right-of-way work will be subject to a $1,000 fine and will be charged additionally $500 per day until remedied or permitted. And then our standards stayed the same with that. We're just going to start to charge for that permit on the right-of-way cut.
That's the one we've been having trouble with.
Off and on, yeah, the utility permit's been the hot one here lately, but the right-of-way permit, we've always have someone out in the right-of-way fairly regular doing something without approval. So I think it would be good to have some teeth in our permits. And like I said, then we gotta review them, we gotta go out and meet with them. The $50 will help recoup some of our costs as well. But primarily, this is residential farmers that get these permits.
Which piece of these papers are you talking about?
The right-of-way cut permit,
This one?
looks like it.
Private work and/or irrigation?
Yep, that's it. That's the
And-
one we're discussing right now,
You pay, the rest of these papers go with it, or is this by itself?
just that one.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because yours was stapled.
Yep.
Okay.
Andrew, you're okay with it, the way it's written?
I've reviewed the permits, I'm okay with them. I think, this may need to be published.
It will be, I'm sure.
Yes, when there's fees to the public, they will be, it has to be. That's what I was just going to.
We did an ordinance for the private utilities in the right-of-way where they gotta pay per a bore and for signage. I'd like to keep that attached to this permit. So this will be we could make it an addendum and then just add a $50 charge for this permit on its own, because there's a lot of times people wanna come in and do ditch work or something like that, there's no charge. This will cover that, because right now it was only charged if they're bearing a utility for that ordinance.
Or we could just do a separate ordinance on.
Yes, you could. That's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, if we do that, I mean, it would be nice if we had an ordinance, like, for all of their fees. Like, whether it's
I
this,
think you could, if we would specify in that ordinance, the right-of-way permit cut, that fee, then we could do the.
All of the permits.
Absolutely. Yep. I can do that.
and would we include these fees in it, so everything's in one document?
We could probably reference the ordinance for that, the new ordinance to reference right-of-way permit and then include that with this.
Like if-
Just so it's referenced.
Right,
You just include that in your list?
yeah, okay.
We'll get it.
Today from us is
Yes, so I need you guys to, today I need you guys to approve the permits and the current language and then the cost. So we're going through each one right now. So I've sent you guys the permits and then, now we're kind of reviewing the costs. So the right-of-way cut permit, you guys reviewed and then we put a cost of $50 for this permit, along with penalties for if they're not permitted or.
So move to accept the right-of-way cut, private work, and/or irrigation permit as presented.
I'll second.
A motion and a second on the floor. Additional comments?
And this is $50?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, as stated in that permit.
Okay.
Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Next.
Well,
Susan's got copies of that.
okay.
I want to make my notes for any changes on these, that way I can. And then with that right-of-way permit, I should have had you put that in your motion. Are you guys okay with me adding the water, gas, and sewer to the front page?
I am. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
So can you add that in with your motion? You okay with that?
We need to amend them.
It's already on here?
I'm gonna add it.
Oh,
Yeah, because you did it as presented.
Yep.
Make that motion to amend, to add that onto.
Yeah, I'm gonna add water, gas, and sewer to the permit be marked.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second on the floor. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
Okay,
and that was to be marked, you're adding water, gas, and sewer, like to be,
on the front page under new system, I'm gonna add that for areas for people to mark. And I will get I'll get an updated one and get it sent to you. All of you.
all right.
Okay, moving forward, you ready, Susan?
I think.
Okay. On the DeKalb County Highway Department application for permit to transport oversized or overweight vehicles and objects on DeKalb County roads. I sent this permit to you guys. Right now, I have on this permit, fee charges $100 per move, $500 per 1-year annual permit from approval date. And then, as always, applicants will be responsible for any fees and bridge inspections of the route. So on the annual permit, I left that in there. There's one area that I do a permit every year. It's on our County Road 48 that goes from Scott Industries west to County Road 15. They run an overweight in and out of there pretty regular. And I've been doing a yearly for him because it's the same truck, pretty much the same load. And then he also has approval from Garrett because that Taylor Road in Garrett, and he's coming in off of State Road 8. So instances like that, I think the annual would be nice for them. But most generally, this permit here will be for a single move. I just did, I'd have to count them, 20 to 30 permits for Fox overweight permits when they did Bear Creek. So rather we would do that as an annual per vehicle or one-time move, but those would be costs that would be charged. There again, I went through the language with this with Andrew, and we added the language that he felt was necessary. The only thing I have marked down I'd like to add to this permit if we move forward, we have on here said vehicles will not operate on county roads on Saturday, Sunday, or the following legal holidays. They're spelled out. I'd like to add in there daylight hours only. Just that would cover the permit for the rural areas. I don't know if you guys, I think it'd probably be a good idea. It's not, I don't think apparently we have to, but I just think it'd be more of a safety. More so the oversized than, but they also have state laws that they need to abide by as well. So
Yeah, the state permits for oversized, overweight are.
daylight hours
Or
only.
oversized, not overweight, but oversized are daylight only.
Probably wouldn't hurt to have it included in ours just to be safe. But there again, that was the cost I kind of put up from samples, but I'm open for suggestions.
Permit is per truck,
Per move, yes, so it would be per truck, because it specifies tractor license plate number, trailer license plate number, so that would be per truck.
Comments, questions?
okay with adding daylight to it myself.
Yeah.
And then you guys okay with the cost as printed here?
$100.
And we can change it. I mean, that's your guys' discretion. I don't know. There's really, everybody else on here, let me look. For an annual permit, see if there's any in here. I don't think that there was. Ben County has oversized, overweight, $75 per move or $250 per annual permit. So we're over them, but that's the only one I have that we got a permit for overweight. No, here's one. Allen County's oversized, overweight, 100 per move, no annual permit. And we don't have to do an annual permit. I just think some of it would make easier for some instances. It's not gonna work for everybody. And I think we have the right to deny an annual if it's gonna be different vehicles or different routes. I mean.
Sure.
Yeah. That's why I asked per truck, because it should be, whatever it is per
Right.
truck.
Right.
So if you have, company has 2 trucks and you're gonna be overweight, it's 2 permits, 500 each.
Additional comments, questions, motion?
I'll make the motion to accept as as presented with the amendment to add daylight savings.
Or
I mean,
daylight.
daylight hours only.
We don't want.
I don't wanna open that can of worms either. Yeah.
I will second that motion.
A motion and a second on the floor. Additional comments from the public?
We're leaving the 500 the same?
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, next permit. We have. Not print one off. Current, where's that? These ain't current. Here it is. My bad. Our utility permit, we went through and revised that, and I went through that with Andrew as well. We've changed some of the specifications on the work as far as requirements, and what will be submitted on plans. Right now for permit, or excuse me, for fees, it states $50 for any work done parallel in the county, fix that, spelling error there, in the county highway right-of-way. And then we have $75 per bore or push under road, and $50 per 500-foot bore or push parallel to the road. So that would be, if they're setting up just going under for a utility to service a residence, it'd be $75, go under that. But then if they're gonna bore a mile down the road, it will be $50 per 500 feet. So if they're running parallel to our right-of-way for a distance. We've put in here a $5,000 maintenance bond per application for the cost of labor and materials to restore the county property cut into or damaged by the applicant to its condition immediately prior to the applicant's damage or cut. $500 for each cut or paved or sealed road, maintenance bond for 100%. And then we have for utility, or I'd say basically electric, could be $15 per 500 feet and $50 per each new pole placed or removed, or overhead pole. Let me reread that. $15 per 500 feet and $50 per each new placed or removed overhead pole. And then also a $5,000 bond. Any unpermitted utility work will be subject to a $500 fine and will be charged an additional $500 per day. My only question with that is, looking at this, we've got 1,000 on the others. Do we want to keep it uniform, or do we want to have this one at 500?
Keep it uniformed
Uniform.
as the violations.
The pole fee in there.
Right.
We talked about taking that out.
You mentioned that, and I sent that out in an email to the 3 of you, and I did not get any response back. Bill submitted in here, or asked me, overhead wires to be $25 per 500 feet and not charge for any poles. So right now, we've got $15 per 500 feet, and $50 for each new pole placed or removed.
What happens, Ben, if they're out there, because that was and I was okay with this is why I didn't respond, I was okay with that recommendation.
Right.
What happens if they're out there, you have a permit, you have to have a permit for changing a pole. They get on a job site, they're not figuring on changing any poles, they get out there and they find a bad pole. And they have to change that pole, then they gotta come back and get a permit to change that pole. Is that correct? Would that be a correct assumption?
If they're bad and they know they're bad, they should permit it. We've always went off the strategy, if there's an accident or danger to public or health, if they pull that bad pole and put it back in the same spot, they can do that.
You can do that.
Because there's instances on holidays, nights, weekends, there's an accident, car hits a pole, breaks it in half, they have to act. So then if they pull that out and put it back in the same spot, that's pretty much a standard with all counties, what they allow.
What if they haven't permitted for any pole, if they're doing a project, say this is an emergency, they're out there doing a project, they're going to change overhead wires. They get going down through there and they find a pole that hasn't been inspected in due time, or they missed the inspection and they find a bad pole. They're gonna have to come back and get a permit, or can they change that pole in the same location without coming back?
I'm not gonna go after them for it. Ideally, they should contact us and say, this wasn't in our plan, we found a bad pole. Are you okay with us replacing as is in the same location? Is what the practice should be that happens. It don't, but, you know, stuff like that, I'm not gonna go after it. I mean, we just gotta have some authority in our right-of-ways. We've gotten a lot of utility companies coming in and doing what they wanna do, how they wanna do it, and not even going by their own plans that they submit. You know, that's one of the main reasons that we're having this discussion right now, is for we have some control, more control in our right-of-ways, because currently we don't have any teeth as far as penalizations, or that I can require a bond in our current permit, which I'm gonna get to here in a minute. That's the main reason for this. We wanna work with our utility companies. You know, I'm not out to be an enemy to anybody. I mean, we all gotta work together, and the main key to that is communication. So as long as they're communicating and working with us, we're gonna reciprocate that.
Okay.
So I mean.
So you're gonna leave the $50 in there per pole?
That's up to you guys. That was something we got from one of the other current permits, what people are charging. But there again, I'm open for discussions or amendments to this, whatever you guys feel is.
What do you think, commissioners?
I don't want to see a decline in the permit price. Which if we remove the poles, wouldn't we see a decline?
Possibly. We don't even, we don't even charge for a permit.
No, okay,
Yeah, we don't have anything right now.
okay. Well, I'm all right then, leave the poles out, and would be new money that we need for the department anyway.
I think leave the polls out. I think, my concern would be that they might try to keep polls in longer to save some money, and they might go bad. You know what I mean? I'm afraid that they'll be like, well, to save some money on this project, we're not gonna reuse the old poles. Instead of just I'd prefer to have new poles put in and have them be going for a long time, so.
So would you guys be okay with going with Bill's recommendation? I'll change this line here to state $25 per 500 feet on overhead wires,
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
and just change that sentence totally?
Yeah. Yes.
And then I would like to add to that line, any new poles placed must be staked.
Sure.
I mean, back into current location, or do you mean different
Any new
location?
poles must be staked for approval. Because the problem of it is when they go out and they want to put new poles in, they're getting them in the ditch line, between the ditch and the roadway. If they stake them, I can do a visual inspection and see that they're where they're supposed
Make
to
sure they're at the back of that right away.
In the emergency situations that you allow back in the same spot.
be. Any new poles. Must. New location. Right, so $25 per 500 feet on overhead wires. Any new poles must have new locations staked for approval.
That should work.
Everybody happy with that? Andrew? You- Pre-approval. Add it in there, sir.
Okay, all set? Anything else on that? Need a motion.
So move that we accept the proposed
Facility
permit application as presented
with the,
with the changes, yes, correct.
I'll second.
A motion second on the floor. Any additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
okay. Next one to add in there would be driveway costs. Right now, we have driveway permits. There's a $25 fee for residents, commercials. Everything except field drives has been exempt since I've been here. We have not charged the farmer for your field drive. Takes the same amount of work to go out and verify, look, we still issue a permit. I proposed in here, I spoke to Bill about it. The driveway costs us for $25 for a field drive, and then create a $50 resident drive, and $100 for a commercial driveway.
Say that again.
It'd be $25 for a field drive, $50 for a residential drive, and $100 for a commercial drive. You guys okay with adding that, or you want to see something different?
Good. Motion?
Also move.
Motion and second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? That one is approved.
Okay, then the last one I have for you guys, we talked about briefly, is the current overweight permit we have that was designed and set up for County Road 61, from US 6 to mostly SDI. That was engineered out when that road was built, per the bridges there, as far as the legal weight with the axle spacings and weight per axle. That permit has been free since I've been here. We issue that every year. A lot of them would get it and then we'd never hear from them again. They think it's good forever. Well, I've been implementing it to be updated annually. That way we keep their current information, and then we also require a proof of insurance with that. So we're doing that. They are overweight vehicles. They are running the roads. Some of them run them pretty regularly because they haul steel coils in and out of there. Like I say, right now we don't have a cost for that. The state has cost per mile, per weight, per axle. I didn't get into all that. That rate varies, but I didn't know what you guys had in mind, or if you wanted to charge anything for that cost, for that permit, I should say. I spoke to Bill about it. He suggested a $500 for an annual or $100 single move, or we can set it what you guys feel fit, or we can leave as is with nothing. But like I say, SDI road is starting wheel rut, been out there a while, and it's gonna start to need some maintenance. And our cost goes up, and, you know, they are for higher trucks, most generally, running that, so.
Right.
No. So, I mean, I'm open, I'd like to keep the current permit, just because the legal language in it, so we can add in the cost to that permit.
What's your thoughts, commissioners?
At the same,
The other permit we just did?
yeah.
No, this one's different because there's bridges on there and it specifies
No,
what,
the fees, 500.
that,
remember what the
that
single
fee
trip
was for that permit only. So I guess we could classify it underneath that, but this is its own permit for that corridor.
But I'm saying, is the price the same?
It could be, yes, if that's what you guys want to do.
What was the other price, I guess?
The other one we did,
It was it 100? Or was it 500?
100 per move, 500 per annual.
It was kind of the same.
Yeah,
And I'm okay with keeping it the same if you guys want to do that with this one. That's your discretion.
Isn't that what Bill suggested?
That's what he suggested in our conversation.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
There, like I said, this road gets a lot more use.
oh, yeah.
A lot of them coils run out of there. Some of them trucks will turn that a couple times a day with them overweight loads, so it's a little different animal, you know. But there again, it's your guys' discretion, so.
Would that, since it specifies 61, any permit money you get, would that stay specific to County Road 61?
It's mostly gonna go back into the highway general fund. I don't know whether I'd specify it for that road. I mean, we could, it's just gonna require some more tracking.
Well, it's, yeah,
But we could, if that's what you guys wanted to do, we could create that, but, I mean, all of our money pays for the maintenance of that road, so them permits ain't gonna pay for
no.
what it needs. So I don't know, if it's relevant to do, that's a decision you guys can make.
Well, just my opinion, that no, it goes in the general county or highway fund.
Right.
It's just too complicated to try to track it, and it's gonna be minimum amount, which you know.
I agree, just like back in general.
Yeah.
I think we'd bump it up to 1,000 instead of 500. Because you're gonna have a lot more trucks doing that annual that's gonna be driving on that road on a lot more times than what the other trucks in the other counties are gonna do. I mean, they're gonna be on that road 3-4 times a day probably.
Good
I mean,
point.
it's a lot of cost. I don't know, they're very used to not paying nothing. We're liable to have a lot of pushback too, so I don't know.
We gotta maintain that
expect.
road, so we're the ones destroying that road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would increase it to 1,000 annually because like the other gentleman, yeah, but it's one truck. These guys are taking heavy road loads and they're gonna be doing it. They could probably be doing it 2 times a day, 5 days a week, all the time. Like that road's gonna need maintenance on it. That's just my opinion. No, that road gets you, I mean, every time I go out there, there's always at least 3 semis driving. That's still, I mean, all the time.
And how many of them's overweight ones, I don't know, but
Yeah, and
We-
these are overweight guys, so.
we
if
do
they
a
get
lot of
underweight,
them
that's
permits a
great.
year. I don't have that number in front of me, but
Is there a problem with that discouraging them from using that road instead coming through town?
they have to use that road. They're a violation of law if they take overweight on any other road. Yeah, if they get caught on any road that they're not permitted, there's a violation.
Okay,
Yeah, anything over 80,000 pounds, unless they're permitted, they're in overweight violation. The only one that has an exemption for that I'm aware of is farmers. They're allowed 10% over out of the field, so 88,000 pounds.
Cement trucks.
Cement trucks are.
motion? You're gonna go with 1,000?
That was 1,000. I'll make the motion to have the annual permit be 1,000 with a single move permit being 100.
And this is specific to.
County Road 61. Yep.
I will second that.
Okay, motion and second on the floor, additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
So we're leaving the single to 100?
Yep.
Okay,
Fine with that.
all right.
Because even the annual at 1,000, that's less than $100 a month. So, I mean, if you put it that way, I mean, if they're gonna use it on a regular basis, that's only $100, really less than $100 a month to do.
That is on the permit, so I will get that all put together in an email. Andrew, get the ordinance started, and we'll move on. For tractor and trailer, is technically. They
Well, that-
could, but they're not supposed to, because that,
Well, depends. When they cross into Michigan, a lot of times they'll pull a single out of SDI up to the Michigan line, and then can do a double. So, yeah. It's,
yeah, we'll have the
Typically-
license plate number for the tractor and the license plate number for the trailer.
the state, we have to have overweight permits when we get on 69 with grain, because Indiana's law is when you load your truck, you can, in any road except an interstate highway, you can be up to 10% over, or up to 88,000. But as soon as you cross into I-69, in my case, that drops back to 80,000. So you have to have an overweight permit to be on. I've tried for several years to get farmers exempt. It just didn't make sense that I can crumble a county road or a state road. And 69 is built for heavy trucks. It has to go back to 80,000, but that's the state law. I found out the reason is that Indiana last year made $145 million on overweight, over-length permits. So there's no reason to change that law. Anyway, so that's, but it cost us $46 every time we take a truck from our house to Bluffton with a load of grain. That's a one-way permit to get to Bluffton. So $1,000 is certainly reasonable.
That's $100 a month, really.
Yeah.
Less than $100 a month. If you're doing business, just add that in.
Susan, I got a few more things. How are we on time? We okay? Or?
Fine.
Well,
We're
I
gonna
see,
be fine.
Steve, I just want to make sure.
They can wait.
Okay. Next thing I have on
I gotcha.
our current utility permit. We have an issue with a company, SurfNet's been doing an awful lot of permits in the county, which is fine. They're doing a lot of work all over the county. They currently did some work on County 51, 55, southwest part of the county, and put that cable in the wrong spot. They've done this before in the past. They've been caught several times doing some things not according to their permit. We stopped them 2 weeks ago and let them know that they're putting the cable in right next to the roads, not on the backside of the ditch, not within 2 feet of the exit right of way. They're boring under the road. Our permit states it's, make sure I tell you right, it's 48 inches in depth. Stays at 19.5 inches deep. And they was told to remove all that and put it back in according to plan. That hasn't happened yet. They said they got in some trouble from the current fiber company. I'm not sure who it was, Frontier maybe, being within 2 foot of their cable, which I don't know how the Utility Regulatory Commission can regulate that because it's our right-of-way. The other company don't own that right-of-way, so I don't know how they can designate how close they could be to them. But that's what that gentleman informed us. But there again, it's not any different than us going out there, pothole and locating the utility, just so we miss it and get ours in. That's what we do. Our application says in here, our current application says the applicant shall, at the requirement of the board, you guys, execute and deliver to the board an indemnity, performance, and completion bond for the utility project as it affects the right-of-way. Since we've had several instances where it has not been per plan, per spec, I'd like to start requiring bonds from SurfNet on projects going forward, because it's been issues in the past, still issues with their permits getting submitted, not being correct, the plans not being correct. It's taken a lot of time. Then my concern is, I've got other pictures where they've been boring down through the roadway and boring. You know, we have an obligation to look out for the best interest of the county highway, the residents. I mean, these right-of-ways are in the residents' properties. I mean, we're not trying to be difficult here or anything, but we review these plans, we submit these plans to these people, then they have other fellow employees, contractors go out and do this work, and they're just kind of doing as they please. And just whatever's easy. And that's one reason we're changing our permits now, for we have teeth and can do these things. But I would like to, if you guys are in agreement, require a bond from SurfNet for this current project where they messed up, and then I'm okay with moving forward even if Andrew feels that's fine, since they've showed issues, or if we have to do it on a case by case. I don't know how that works. I've never had to do this before.
I would say there should be specific, as the policy project.
The other thing, possibly if Andrew agrees, we could hold all future permits to SurfNet until this project's remedied per plan, done correctly, and then move forward. I don't know. I mean, we got to work with them because we can get the Utility Regulatory Commission after us, but I think with this particular deal, we've had enough issues in the past. I think it would be hard for them to claim any negligence on us, but I'm just trying to keep control of the utilities in our right-of-ways. So I'm open for suggestions, or we don't have to do this. We can keep moving forward as we have, but it's been a struggle.
Too many struggles.
It has. And I say, utilities are important. It's important for our day-to-day lives and for the people to get it. I understand that. But all work together.
Thoughts, comments, commissioners?
Don't have a problem putting a bond on. Absolutely, I don't. They're doing shoddy work. They should not be doing it in this county. And if they don't want to fix it, I mean, $100,000 bond, or do you want more?
I don't know what we can require.
It doesn't really say within the permit. I would recommend a bond for a little bit.
Yeah,
You talked to me about this.
yeah, probably.
Is the bond for just this project, or you want to put a bond on them in general for all work that they do in the county?
You know, and that's something to consider, because this has happened more than once.
That's what
That's kind of what I think your thought was, and that's kind of what my thought was, so.
So would we do a project?
Well, it says for the utility project.
Right.
That's why,
So we can, well, our new permit we just approved
that's 5,000.
was 5,000. They've been here, they've had areas we can make them do 10,000, I think, reasonably.
I think 10,000 would be.
per project.
I think for this, I think we could, I think we could for the current project where this issue's originated from. And then I can let him know moving forward on every submittal, $10,000. Is that,
You know what, but you, apparently, if I'm understanding right, it'll have to go back to the commissioners for approval on the bond
Every time.
every time.
every, we can do that.
Also fine with holding any more permits until this one's fixed.
Absolutely. Is that 100%?
Because if I'm the boss and my subcontractors aren't doing a good job, I'm gonna go out there and make sure it gets fixed before I'm not gonna delay my project anymore. Because if not, they'll just keep moving forward with the other projects.
Put up-
If,
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, and any previous projects that aren't right, fix them all. Because the citizens of the county are the ones that are
I
going to suffer
understand.
down the road,
I understand completely.
wherever they're working.
That's exactly correct. They can't even follow their own plans that they submit is the problem.
that's just doubles the,
That's what's aggravating.
yeah.
It's their own plans that they submitted to us for approval they can't follow,
Or did not follow.
or did not follow, yes.
Yeah, this one completed, did not follow.
So I will make a motion that Surf Internet has a stop work order on all projects moving forward till everything that is need fixed in the county is fixed, and that they are attached to a $10,000 bond on any new project.
On this current one,
Current.
any new ones,
Yep,
till when? You
for the
want,
next year.
12 months.
What other projects do they have problems with?
there's been other projects that's been done. They did one over in Corona where they plowed one in and was out next to the road back and forth. Mark and them worked on an agreement on that. Right now, this is the only current SurfNet issue I'm aware of. But they just submitted 15 miles of fiber. And that's where we're going back and forth on the plans. They keep submitting the plans wrong. They'll submit new permits that's not signed. They won't give the footages. They'll submit a set of plans that are blurred, you can't even read them. And then Friday, they submitted me an email with an ordinance that was adopted by the commissioners in 21 that I didn't even know we had, that we are a broadband-friendly county and all permits will be reviewed and approved within 10 days. And he's saying we're well over that. We responded, well, I understand that, but your permits have not been correct. We've been going back and forth.
Been reviewed.
It's been reviewed.
It doesn't mean it needs to be approved, it's been reviewed in
And-
10 days. There's a difference between reviewed and approved.
I mean, you would have approved it if they'd have submitted a good permit.
There you go.
They're
No.
not allowed
Just because you have to review it in 10 days does not mean you have to approve it within 10 days.
mistakes and then expect you to approve it with mistakes.
They keep submitting permits with state roads, town roads. We make them pull that out. I don't want no discrepancies that we approved them to go in these areas. The instance, I just sent you guys pictures on County Road 40 over here last week. When I'm 99.9% sure I know who that is. But when I stopped them this spring, he tried telling me they had a blanket permit for the whole state. Yeah, right. Because if the state has a such thing, the county local don't. But that's why I said, it's just, that it's a struggle, guys, and we'll try our best to work with everybody. I mean, I think we really do, so.
I'll second that. My only concern with your wording was to fix all previous mistakes. I don't know how that works. That's what I was kind of clarifying. I didn't want to have like you find one.
No, I think just
a
this
year from
current,
now and all of a sudden they're on the hook because that's what our ordinance was. Like, I want to have a list of, hey, these are the things you need to fix before you go forward.
we have the current list, 51, 55 over there. I think let's stick with that one, moving forward.
Okay.
Because that's the one,
You okay with that? Yeah. Okay. It's because as from their point of view, it's like, okay, well, what's my list of things I need to fix? So I can get moving forward. I don't want to have something pop up in a month from now, then it stops everything I'm doing just because I didn't know about it.
right, right.
So stop work order going forward and
So-
will be attached to a $10,000 bond for the next year.
Stop work orders only until they fix
Right.
Yeah, that's my amended motion, yes.
And I'll second that, yeah. I just wanted to clarify the wording a little bit to make sure
Sure.
it's.
And what was that? County Road what?
51, 55. There's more over, I should have brought that permit with me and I didn't.
We could call it the 51.
Area. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Clear?
Clear as
All
mud.
right. A motion on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye opposed?
We've been on a lot of permits here, Andrew. We're getting through it.
We'll get it done, weather permitting.
Couple more things and I'll be out of you guys' way.
Keep saying that, yeah, you keep bringing more.
I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry. Next thing, moving forward with the permits, since we're gonna be charging for those, how are we gonna charge for them? Most people don't wanna mail checks and wait for payments
Talk
to
to the
get.
surveyor's office, they're working on it, I think, right now. On how to accept credit cards. Talk to Tyler.
Well,
We're doing the same
how do you collect payments now?
Check or cash to our office for driveway permits.
Okay. So you're probably gonna have to get an agreement with the value pay system that Chris has and surveyor's getting, clerk has, recorder has, treasurer might, I don't know if they have one, I can't remember. That will take.
Unless some of these have like an EFT we can set up with the county, I don't know. No, okay. All right, well, I will check with them and then I have to work with you, obviously, probably on this, I'm sure. I'll be in touch with you and others and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Like I say, we're gonna be charging, there'll be people wanting them, we're gonna be collecting a lot more money than we ever have in the past.
A lot more.
And then the last thing I have is just County Road 17, the road conversion project. I emailed Brian Rothgeb the current updated permit I received, or not permit, contract from Andrew. Have not heard anything back. I didn't know if anybody else had anything on it, or,
I attempted to reach out to Brian.
okay. Okay.
I think, didn't you ask, somebody asked
That was
me
me.
to the county.
Okay.
Yep.
Hopefully,
I hope so. I same once I received it from you.
around the same time I was reaching out.
Okay.
He did reach out to me, we had a conversation, I told him that he needs to come to the meeting if he has questions.
Well, that would have been a good piece of information for me to know.
Did he reach out to you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Wanting to be on the agenda, and I didn't know anything about that, so I had asked our attorney.
Okay, I apologize.
Okay.
That's my list. Is that enough today?
That's, well, what the heck?
Okay. Anybody else have anything else for me?
Anything for Ben? Anybody? Last call?
Nope.
You are free to go.
All right. Sorry for the.
You are.
Have to bring us lunch pretty quick.
I know it, right? Well, I appreciate it. And guys, I also want to thank you for helping us get these permits amended. This has been needed and done for a while and a little bit of work, but I appreciate it. And I think it'd be good for all of us moving forward.
Yep. Okay. Mr. Gomer, you are up and on the spot.
Can we go through the contracts first for Eagle View?
Yes.
Okay, that way those will be done and out of the way. I printed them off, but I think left them at the printer because they're not with me. We have 2 contracts for aerial imagery and LiDAR, which is contours. The fees have been approved by council for next year, and going forward for the aerial imagery, it'll have to be done the next 3 years. So that was in my capital improvements plan with council. The fees did not go up from we're doing it 2026, so 2023 for LiDAR. So it's around the same cost of $113,222.46. That's used by all the surveyors that do work in the county, private land surveyors, as well as the county surveyor's office, using the LiDAR data for surveyor projects. Important to have all that updated. Right now, the last time they were updated was 2023. Before that, it was 2017. With the amount of work that goes on in DeKalb County, I think it's important to have new contour data updated. And again, not just for the county, but it's for, not just for unincorporated county, but the city and towns as well, for the work that they have going on within their jurisdictions. And then the aerial imagery is for Beacon or our GIS users, updated imagery. Right now, we've been on a track for the last 6 years, I believe, to go on to do new aerial flies every 3 years. So we started in 2020, we did it in 2023, and then hoping we can get this approved, the contract approved to fly in 2026 and then 2029. Again, money has been approved in council for that. They understand that it's a 6-year contract, $133,000 paid over the course of 6 years. So it's like $56,000 some odd dollars per year for the next 6 years. Cost of that they did not raise that cost either from 2020, which is nice of Eagle View. I asked them to keep their cost as low as they could because of the money that we aren't getting from the state for the SB1 bill. So anyway, those contracts were, I believe, in your packets, Susan, and were reviewed by Andrew over the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So just here to get those approved by you all for the next 6 years. I'm not sure if anyone, I think LiDAR, Bill, you were here for the LiDAR original contract in 2023, but yes, the other 2 of you are new with these contracts.
Comments, questions?
Chris,
Yes.
are these one and the same, or you?
No, they're 2
different?
separate. One's for the LiDAR, one's
that
for the
this one?
aerial. Yes, I believe so. The one that says agreement.
Spectrometry,
Yep, that's the LiDAR.
LiDAR, okay,
And then the other one's the aerial. So it's 2 separate contracts.
okay.
Just in my opinion, it seems the frequency of these flyovers is excessive. 3 years, how much is it going to change in 3 years? They were going to pay $56,000 a year to look at. Honestly.
I will tell you, the assessor's office uses the aerial imagery daily, as do we.
Well, yeah.
People that come into our office, obviously use it for
How much
new building
changes
permits.
every 3 years though? Why can't we go 5 years?
New houses, new projects that are going up in the county.
There's quite a bit.
There's quite a bit that goes on, new road projects. And again, it's not just the county that uses the data or imagery, it's all the municipalities as well. And surveyors, title companies, title researchers, everyone really does use Beacon quite a bit. I don't know. I mean, it's up to you guys. Selfishly, I would like the contract to get approved now, and then in 6 years I can re-review and see if they do a 5-year cycle.
Up to you guys. Motion?
We need to do these separate, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Correct?
Well, I mean, you can put them both in the same.
Link them together. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do the LiDAR one first. So move we accept the LiDAR contract as presented.
Second.
A motion second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Next.
So the next one is the Eagle View Master Service Agreement.
And that one's for the aerial imagery and oblique imagery.
Make a motion.
A motion second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
I do want to make a comment that I do like to see. Bill's concern is a little bit of a concern I have too about how often these are happening though, Chris. So we want to look at it. And if you gave me like a number of how many permits or something that's come through, like how many changes that we really have to capture going forward every 3 years, you know what I mean? I mean, I agree with having it so often, but if there's not a lot of changes, you know, I mean, you guys track permits.
Yeah, I mean,
It's easy to kind of keep an idea of how much changes there are.
yeah, and the state imagery is just not reliable. We could get free imagery or updated imagery from the state. State has delayed their flights. You probably know this too. Like they delay them, I think, 2 times in the last 3 years. So their flights that were supposed to happen in 2025 now aren't happening until 2027. So there's free imagery we can get, but it gets delayed because of state.
What did you guys signing? What did you give them to sign?
Nothing. They shouldn't be signing that ordinance.
Oh.
That's what we're going over next, you guys.
I thought it was what I just did.
I was like, wait a minute, there's only.
I was talking to you and
Jim just handed me.
No, sorry.
Figured you was.
That ordinance is easy.
Hold on.
No, that's, the thing next time is for your, we're going. No, but I'll look at that. I'll look into that too and see.
Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, he has a good point. I mean, I'm okay with it this time, but in 3 years, I think it's time to look and see when do we really have these on a cycle. So,
Okay, we'll do.
thank you.
Yep, appreciate it, guys.
It might be helpful also if one of you guys or all of you maybe talk with the assessor also.
I was
just
gonna
to
bring
see
her
how
up
much-
too, if you want,
Yeah.
next time. I mean, she came up the first time and she
Yeah.
reiterated, and I think we had the city of Auburn here as well,
Okay.
concerned about, I mean, the city of Auburn could pay for their own flyover to update just their city, but anyway, we can talk about that
Yeah.
later. Next is the ordinance for the public nuisance that we brought, I guess, a month and a half ago, maybe now. The concerns that were brought up were about the abandoned vehicles on page 2. What does that, how do we make sure that it's 3 models old and is mechanically inoperable, but also requiring that they have to have a valid registration? So we added that change. The other concern was a complaint form of any resident in DeKalb County or resident living directly across from the DeKalb County line, roads from the property in question. So if they're on like County Road 72, but they're over in Allen County, they can complain, but they couldn't be, half mile in Allen County or something like that. If you remember, we really just put in text what it is that we are doing to, for the violations and the violation notices. everything in here is, like I said, what we currently do, but putting it in text so it's in the ordinance, so you guys understand, fellow, or future commissioners understand how to move forward with these type of issues. I think those were the other concerns. Bill brought up wanting to have it come forward as a public hearing, and moving forward with that. So if you're okay with these changes, I would be happy to work with Susan to get this scheduled for a public hearing vote. If that's still something you want to do. But I made the changes, sent them over to Andrew and Susan and Jace, and everyone's okay with those changes, but want to get your guys' final approval on this before we would bring it forward to a public hearing vote. Or not public hearing vote, but a public hearing and then subsequent vote.
I think we should put a public hearing on it. Involves the public in a big way, personally.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fine with it.
Anything else you wanted to discuss with this, Jace? Okay. If you guys are okay with these changes, Susan, just work with you to get that scheduled.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I guess I would need to know from the commissioners, like, when you're wanting to do it and when you guys are all available and stuff like that, so I can verify dates on the calendar and stuff.
How far out do we have to look? For the public
What
notice.
was that?
At least 10 days
At
for,
least 10 days, yeah.
but then you got to make sure, well, you probably have direct lines to KPC to get yours in, where I don't. I have to get mine scheduled 5 or 6 days out.
We want to do that in conjunction with a commissioner hearing or do an evening hearing.
I was looking at Monday the 10th. That'd be enough time? Get it published and everything? No, just that day.
If you're doing evening, we've got Board of Zoning Appeals at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so it's-
So you could either do it, 5 o'clock, and if you wanted to do an evening, that's obviously entirely up to you guys, but just FYI, we do have Board of Zoning Appeals that day.
Thoughts, Bill? Want to do an evening one? People come more to the evening, morning?
Let's do an evening. I'd recommend an evening. I'm just one.
Do it that evening at 5 o'clock, before the BZA? The BZA, right?
Yeah, we could do that.
5?
Yep.
Okay. What else you got?
Jace had couple properties that he's sending out or passing out to you now. These were ones that you all wanted to see continuances on for 60 or 90 days, so I'll let him discuss those with you.
And those pictures are this morning.
This morning?
Yep, right before I came. And Sadison is already out 30 days, and Rodman's out 60 days already.
And what what commissioners give for each of those properties?
60 days for Sadison, and then 90 days for Rodman.
And Sadison's at 30 days now,
Mm-hmm,
and Rodson's at 60 days now.
mm-hmm.
There's probably not much you can do right now, except, I think Jace should or will make a couple phone calls to each of them or send them a letter that says,
Nothing is right.
nothing's been done, and you've got 30 days left, or 30 days and, 30 days each now.
Yeah.
So if that's how you'd want to move forward, I don't think there's anything you can do now. But take a look at those photos, and anyone need a Christmas tree? There looks like there's a free one out there on the side of the road.
You know what these are, they're trying to get them away for free.
What?
All these toys and stuff, is that what he's trying to do on the side of the road for people to take? He doesn't have like a free sign or anything up? Okay.
At what time he said he was trying to.
I see
Yeah,
him.
I think he was trying to sell everything, is what he's trying to do.
It looks like Sadison's is out in the country, but Rodman's is near.
It's
Rodman's
right
is
by
Heritage Estates.
Yep.
Heritage Estates, but right kind of behind
Right
Miller's,
behind it.
Mary Manor and Garrett.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of those property owners behind there call us all the time about his properties, but
Yeah. And I don't think Albright has done anything for a while.
yeah.
Well, I'll reach out to his attorney.
I was just gonna ask you about that, because that has.
Yeah, there's still, I look at it,
It made the poles into two piles.
yeah.
3 piles, actually, if you look.
Is there three now?
There's three.
So maybe I should, I think the
At least
next step
Was that
I was
Bob?
considering was a request for
Yeah.
admissions where they would.
Was that Bob Aaronman's
Yes.
client?
Yes. So we got a little bit of initial work done, but doesn't seem like after that.
Nope.
And I don't think even Bob really heard from his client either.
Yeah, he said he was
I
having a
think he
hard
was
time.
having a hard time getting hold of him. The only other thing I don't think that we were able to discuss at the last meeting, just due to time constraints, was Jace's hours and how to move forward with more properties quicker. We have quite a few cases that he can go over, and I think you all, probably should have printed that off again for you, but
I don't know if we,
yeah, we did go through all these properties as
Yeah.
to where they are in the process, but
right,
right now, taking on any more cases is probably not gonna happen until we start getting through and getting properties in compliance. I think there's a couple more that we've sent complaint forms on and have received information back on from some people, but I think council did up the amount of money that we have in our part-time position to allot for maybe some increased hours for Jace, if you guys would so see that as approving that before. The three commissioners were Commissioner Hartman, Commissioner Sanderson, and Watson were had it as just a maximum of 10 hours a week to do this, because really we only had about 3 or 4, and then just over the last few years, stuff has just piled up, and as you and I have talked, we need to try to get through these a little bit quicker and stay on track too, to make sure we're following our own deadlines to get these through. So if that's something you all would be okay with, I think starting in 2026, council did budget for, I think, up to 28 hours a week for for all my for my 2 part-time people, Jace and Meredith. So Meredith's already at 28 hours a week. But if you guys would be okay with upping that to between 10 and 28, that's up to you guys, but council did approve the increase.
If you did go up to 28, how many months do you think you would have on your list?
Well, you still have to follow the ordinance, right? So you'd still have to follow the deadline there, but I think working on more, like how many months would it take? Theoretically, it could take 3 months if they comply with the ordinance. Laugh, but you know, I think you could probably work on theoretically double the caseload. You know, if you are working on what, 5 or 6 now, 4 or 5 now, work on 8 to 10,
Yeah.
probably, I think.
About
And
20 hours.
could still get through.
20 hours versus 10 hours.
We've doubled
Yeah.
it to
You can
20.
also approve 28, so I don't know if give you 20, go up to 28 until you get caught up, and then, I mean, it's maximum.
Jace has another full-time job, so he can't be right out.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of the, you know,
The
doing.
other thing is, if you do 20, there may be some weeks that there might be a little bit more,
Oh, yeah.
only if, like, you know, like if they have to go to court or something, that's not in the regular.
But
But
as when we
there's
went to court for,
But there's-
Same process.
yeah. and we-
I would be, I could live with 20, go and double it to 20.
Okay.
I could live with that.
But it's, you know, when we went to court for Thrush, I think we discussed it a little bit at the last meeting too, is Jace worked 8 hours getting prepared for that Thrush case, taking new photos for the courts, the drive time, taking photos, coming into the office, getting them printed, we met with Andrew, I think, for an hour, half hour before, you know, so
At least.
those hours just add up, even getting ready for a
You can do
court case, but that's up to,
20 hours a week, and then if you have a court date, you can get an extra 8 hours to prepare for court. We get to that point. That way, he can still take those 20 hours and continue to keep working on the other cases. But if it does go to court, you have a little bit of a leeway to use some hours for court, because not everyone's going to go to court, so it's not going to be like.
Right.
Because if he's taking 8 hours to go to court, then that's going to take roughly about half of what he's going to get for that
But
week.
that's not going to be every week.
Right.
I understand.
Like
It's going to be
on regular part-time, like with payroll and HR and stuff, you can work up to 28 hours a week, every week, but it ends up being like a 3-month average. So somebody might work 35 hours a couple weeks, but then they might not work 28 the following weeks because it averages out.
I need to stop you, Susan, because of the relation with Jace.
I'm not asking that. I'm telling you how the logistics and how the
know-
protocols
I know
work.
You're voicing an opinion. Maybe it's an indirect
I
opinion.
am telling you how the law average, this is federal law on how we have to average 3 months of a time. That's all I'm telling you.
You have to average 3 months at a time.
because then you can't, right, so Meredith
are-
can't work, if the average ends up being 35 hours, we have to then pay her for full-time salary, or full-time pay plus benefits. So that's what I think that's what you're meaning, is that we just don't want to get into these becoming full-time positions.
It's a federal law that I am explaining to you guys. It has nothing to do with Jace's relationship to me and his pay. I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could go to 20 hours and see how that kind of goes.
Okay.
What your workload looks like.
That was gonna be my suggestion.
That's fine with me.
And see how you kind of go through this list and see what else we have on the back burner, what else comes in. I mean, if nothing really comes in the next couple of months, you'll get caught up hopefully on that, and then that should be enough to keep you going. So, and then that way, we keep getting more coming in and more coming in, and it looks like this is gonna be a continuous thing, then we can look at bumping it up.
Let's work our way up rather
Yeah, I
than go
agree.
up and trying to work our way back down.
And do
Yeah.
you still only want these to be complaint-based
Absolutely.
issues, not going out and if we drive by one or whatever and see, just be it strictly complaint-based.
Yes.
I have a little bit of different opinion, but I think right now we need to get this list taken care of first before we start adding anything else to it, so. So as of right now, we'll just leave it the way it is.
as
Get
is.
caught up in what we got before we
Okay.
revisit, have that kind of discussion of any sort,
Sounds good.
so.
And starting in 2026
Correct. For the extra, for the 20,
for the 20
20
hours.
hours a week, yeah.
Yeah. Need a motion?
We need a motion for that? Yeah, I'll make that motion that starting in 2026, we'll increase the code compliances hours per week to a maximum of 20 hours.
Motion second on the floor. Additional comments? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thanks, guys.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Enjoy your Monday.
Oh, yes. Anything else? I believe we're through the list.
Unless you want to talk about energy, and I need you to
Energy.
sign.
Yeah.
You all need to sign, actually sign this ordinance. This is the cornerstone one that we did earlier.
In a hurry.
You can have them and you can just scan them to me if that works. I didn't go back through and see if there's any little places to add dates. Yeah.
We have 3 that'll probably go to court then. If I have, well, 3 that might possibly have to get moving forward, right?
What'd you say?
Madison's, 1 south of the high school, and then the other one.
Albright and Rodman.
Okay, so we have those 3 that we're gonna be, have to be dealing with. Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about gas,
Oh, yeah, that's always a fun thing.
real quick.
Thank you.
I forwarded an email to you from Christopher Jerezniak.
I don't know how to say that.
Jerezniak, something of that. Anyway, he just sent me a reply and I forwarded it to everyone. Recommendation was to price 25 to 35% on the market right now, or soon, I should say. Jim seems to think he would be okay with 25. Is that,
That would be my recommendation.
you think, Kellen, any thoughts, recommendations?
Honestly, kind of lean on you guys on this one. I don't really do the futuristic stuff, like with.
We're in a downgrade. It's declined here lately.
Or to-
Most likely will go up as we get into the winter months.
At the very, right now, it's on a downtrend.
Lock it in down here is what you're saying.
Yeah. At least, I said 25% because well, and that's what I gave you here is, it's kind of in a downtrend. Obviously, you never know what's gonna happen, markets like that, but
No, I got a letter personally or somebody, something about AEP saying that this winter they're gonna have to increase prices and stuff, and so. It's kind of interesting that this all kind of
Gas-
fell.
gas
Yeah,
prices,
Yeah,
right.
we're gonna probably go up this winter time, so.
Yeah. If we're going to do it, now's the time to do it because they will go up.
okay with one.
I'm okay with that, yeah. That's what you guys okay with, I'm okay with it.
Motion?
So move that we do the contract for 25% at the price that was quoted.
I'll second.
A motion second on the floor. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Notify him, Madam Secretary?
Yeah, I was just looking here. Yeah, I will note, it says that, we can tell him what you recommend, and then he'll get a final price quote for our approval.
Right.
So, I guess I don't know if we actually, when it comes, you've already approved it, so I guess we'll just sign it. Or do another emotion. That's what we could do. We could approve the dollars then, and we'll just approve the percent now.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
yeah,
This doesn't have to be put out or anything.
percent, yeah. Whatever it is,
And then we'll, whether the dollar comes in, we'll,
Yeah.
to make sure it's
Yeah.
something that we're happy with.
that'd work, that'd work.
Is this gonna be any kind of?
Well, and
It's not one big lump sum, I mean, we pay at that
Yeah, it
at
comes
that
in.
rate over the time as we use it.
Right.
So I wouldn't believe
It's
so.
just
but-
priced ahead of time, that amount's priced ahead of time.
We've done it this way every year
Yeah.
in the past, I think.
Okay.
market worth looking at, for sure.
It's over my head.
Keep a track on this.
Yeah. You need signatures on this.
What you got?
That's the,
No, because we just did the first. Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. Okay, anything else? Anyone before I adjourn this meeting?